Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time WWE Hall of Famer, owner, founder of Reality of Wrestling.
Right.
For our readers who may not be familiar with Reality of Wrestling, what is it that sets you guys apart from other promotions?
We're a young roster. Everything about reality of wrestling is about gearing young people, motivating young people. And the thing is, we started this thing to be used as just a tool. Wrestling was just a tool to get young people to, get together, opposed to being inside on the computer, on the internet, doing, just the way I grew up almost. Man, get outside, hang out with your buddies. And
Yeah.
the school was created in 2005. And I always felt like, young people can aspire to be if they see young people doing things. So I say, man, if I got a 16-year-old champion and they're on television, you're going to have a 10-year-old kid out there saying, man, I wish I could be that. It's hard to aspire to be, just say, for instance, Booker T. He's old. He's an old guy. I love Booker T, but, he's in his 50s. But if I see somebody 20, that's doing it, man, I can actually be that. It's not something that's unattainable. And that's what reality of wrestling is all about, giving young people a chance to be a part of something and create something at the same time, which is reality of wrestling, something that we have put a lot of time into creating. And there again, we have the youngest roster, I think, in all of professional wrestling, and it's going to keep getting younger.
You were talking about having a young roster and wanting to work with kids. I did want to talk about briefly about the Booker T Fights for Kids Foundation, which is a very integral part of Reality of Wrestling. A portion of the proceeds go to the Fight for Kids Foundation. I was just curious if you had any insight into like how that's going, how that's affecting the community.
Man, me and my wife, it's a labor of love as far as what we do for young people. I was a kid once upon a time, and I felt like only thing I needed was a pat on the back and somebody to tell me, man, you could do it, or supply me just a little bit of help. A guy told me once upon a time, somebody put their hand out to help you. You take it, you hold on to it, and you utilize it, and then you try to bring somebody else up at the same time. So we try to scholarship, kids. We help through the disaster periods, that we've had. We'll give out water all day. We just try to make sure we do as much as we possibly can in the community for young people and let them know that there's somebody out there looking out for them. And this show here, hopefully, proceeds that come from it help out a little bit.
Now, Reality of Wrestling, you are a very, very strongly tied to your Texas roots. How it's based there. How are you going to bring that sort of Texas background to a show on a scene as big as Vegas? How is that going to affect things?
And I mean, Vegas is all about entertainment, and that's what reality of wrestling is all about. We are a performing arts school, okay? And Vegas is just going to be a chance to go out and showcase, my young guys' talent. This show is going to be heavily sponsored because a lot of people want to see it succeed. A lot of people want to see young people do great things. I have a slogan. We've said for many, many years, respect your elders. And I'm 56 years old, and I say, man, we got to start respecting our young people because my young guys have brought reality of wrestling all the way to Las Vegas, November 19th. In just 2 weeks, we're going to be doing our thing. Our guys showcasing in the main event, they're guys that haven't been seen on the main screen or anything like that. But with this show and the Reality of Wrestling YouTube channel, people are going to be able to see these guys for free. They're going to be able to see how well trained these guys really are and how good of entertainers these guys and girls are, more importantly than anything. And I think showing the world is just the beginning. And the thing is, you got to see it to become a believer. We want everybody to jump on board after November 19th, after they see how good these young guys are. And if you want to be a part of Reality of Wrestling, just go to realityofwrestling.com and jump on board and be a part of the Road Nation.
Yeah, and that availability on YouTube is great because, like, even leading up to this interview, I was able to go back and rewatch some old matches, find some of the guys who are competing, and take a look at how they work. What's it like having all that immediate feedback from a fan base, though, being able to just put it up on YouTube and people immediately see it?
Yeah, man. Our YouTube channel grew so much through the pandemic. We were like at 100,000 subscribers, and now we're at 500 and like 30 some thousand subscribers. And it's all due to our young guys still performing throughout that pandemic, showing the world, man, we're still grinding, we're still working hard, and we're still trying to hone our craft. And it's been awesome. It's been really awesome actually to be able to have our own platform to be able to go to the world with. But now we're in 50 markets. Reality of Wrestling, right now TV, Roku TV, and CW33 in Dallas, and Tyler and certain other places. And right now we're just trying to expand. Of course, we're Texas based, but we want to be able to touch just about, want to sprinkle ourselves around. Let's just say that. And Vegas is going to be the first stop, the first sprinkle. And it's going to be a great night. Like I say, the show the world, the young guys of Reality of Wrestling, and then let them judge for themselves. Man, I think Booker T has something down here, and maybe we want to get behind it and push it to the next level.
All right. I mean, talking about that massive growth, I did read where you had a, big expansion of your TV presence in the last, I believe it was a little over a month ago.
Yeah.
How are you seeing that affect the lead up? Are you seeing a lot of new fans come from that? How is that affecting things going
And
forward?
I think we're getting a lot of feedback from it. I mean, the places where Reality of Wrestling is being aired, people are like, man, finally we get a chance to see it on television. We've been pushing for this company for a long time. Everybody always try to, compare Reality of Wrestling, but we try not to. Compete or anything like that. We are the AAA of professional wrestling. We're the stop before you make it to the big leagues. But we are going to be the biggest AAA of professional wrestling. That's our motto. More than anything, but we are that company where you come to get polished, learn how to work television, know exactly what the what not to do's mean, know what it means to go out there and make the fans feel a certain way. And coming to Vegas on November 19th in just 2 weeks, man, you got to know how to make fans feel a certain way in that city, just like New York, just like Philadelphia. We can't grow if we just stay in Texas as far as our minds, as far as our ability to go out in the ring and make the fans, like I say, make a tear come out of their eye. So we're gonna come to Vegas to actually do Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, Phantom of the Opera in tights. It's gonna be a great night.
Definitely. All right, so let's talk about the match card. There were two matches in particular I wanted to talk about. First off, that triple threat diamonds match: Promise Braxton, Alex Gracia, Rachel Rose. I went through and I watched a couple matches with all three of these girls. They definitely put it all out there. Promise Braxton, in particular, seems like she is very unforgiving in the ring.
she's
Uh,
she's aggressive.
Book, what do you think? How's that one going to go?
I love the matchup, and I love where all three of these young ladies have grown to. Now, let me tell you, Rachel Rose, man, she was like the student that was just taking notes for the longest. She was just taking notes before she ever got in the ring. And then she finally got her chance to get in the ring, and man, she shined just like most of the diamonds in Reality of Wrestling do. So I'm just so proud to see exactly where she has come. I talk to her, Rachel Rose, all the time as far as, being champion. You guys, when you're champion, you got to be a general. You got to know exactly what that role means. And we ain't got to go off into detail or anything like that, but she is definitely taking that role to heart. And Promise Braxton, she was somebody like me once upon a time, just looking for someone to give her a pat on the back and say, we're going to give you a chance. And boom, she took that chance and ran with it. And Alex Gracia, no doubt, man, she's a diamond that needs very little polish because she shines very bright. That's going to be an awesome match for the fans to see. And I'm sure the ladies are going to bring it.
All right, and then the Reality of Wrestling Championship match, Will All-Day, Cam Cole. These two guys have been fighting off and on for what seems like an eternity, from what I could tell. Do you think this is going to be the one where it's all on the line? Do you think they're going to finally put a pin in this and we're going to come out with like a clear victor, or
Well,
do you think this is the beginning of more?
we just had a monkey thrown in the wrench.
Oh,
Danny Rivera has been added to that match. It will now
oh,
be a triple threat match for the Reality of Wrestling Championship, and Danny could walk away his first night in Reality of Wrestling, the Reality of Wrestling champion. That's what's so unique about that match right there. So I'm looking forward to it. Danny Rivera, formerly Danny Limelight, I had him on my show, The Indies with Booker T, before we ever really started talking about him like on a regular, because I saw something in this guy. I saw something that that the intangible. I said, man, this guy has something. So for him to actually be in Vegas that night and to make the phone call and say, Book, I want to be a part of it. I say, I'm going to make you a part of it, but not just make you a part of it, but give you a shot at the Reality of Wrestling Championship. And it's going to be a whole lot more surprises that's going to be a part of this show that's going to be added over the next 2 weeks. So just be staying informed to my Twitter account, my Instagram account, because photos will be going up real soon.
oh man, that is reality right there. Just changing on the fly. You never know what's going to happen. Uh, One last one, just a nice softball question to roll us out with. Bookie, you said you were an older guy earlier. I'm going to call bull on that. You're in phenomenal shape. I think you could break me in half with one arm if you really wanted to.
I
It's
try, man.
been it's been a little over a year since you worked a match, about 2 years since you worked a singles match. What's it going to take to get you back in the ring again? What's that one name that would get you to lace him up and work another match right now?
There's no name or anything like that. That doesn't motivate me to get in the ring and do it. What motivates me to step back in the ring is just to show my young guys that I can still do it, first and foremost, but to show them that I'm a part of the team. I'm just not sitting on the sideline. Sometimes, I have to be player coach, and I have to step in and do my part, to draw a crowd, whatever I have to do for Reality of Wrestling. I'll do it. So rest assured, you'll see me do something with Reality of Wrestling sometime in the future. But doing it on a big scale, getting back in a WWE ring or anything like that, that really doesn't interest me. But what does interest me is a big check. So I'm motivated. I'm motivatable. Let's just say that.
I can't blame you there. Speaking of WWE, I know I said that was the last question, but I do have to ask since I have you. There were a number of high profile releases last night. Did you have any insight you could offer on that? Any thoughts, any words about like what's going to happen following a big release like that?
Well, I tell you, man, the landscape of wrestling is different now. We can't look at wrestling the way it was, 20 years ago. The wrestlers these days have such a hard time going out there and getting that footprint in the game to where it's solid. You know what I mean? You can't erase it or anything like that. People don't realize I was in the game 11 years on TV, building a reputation, becoming a household name before I ever got to WWE. These young guys these days, they don't get that chance. They go to NXT and then boom, they come on the big roster, and we, the fans, expect for them to be household names because certain people like them. It's just not. It just doesn't work that way. So I understand. Sometimes you have to switch gears. And when we've gone through this pandemic over a year and a half with no fans, no gate, merchandise being sold sporadically, you got to understand how much money is leaking out. No matter how much money you got, you still don't, want to have that mode and motto of doing business. So people just got to understand, man, we're in a total different world as far as the wrestling game go. But what I can say also is we're in the best time of the business has ever been, as far as being able to get work anywhere, every week, somewhere. So all of these guys that got released, if they're talent, they're going to be okay. Now, the ones that's not talent, they got a problem.